Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you an oil pastel painting of a tabletop still life. I was inspired by the YouTuber who is credited in the video description below. I used the final painting that he did in one of his videos as the reference image for this video. But I changed the reference image a little bit to give it my own twist. When I paint using reference images, I sometimes change the reference purely based on my imagination. This way I feel like I add something extra to the original image. This is not really necessary when you are painting using a reference, but that is something that I tend to do. For this painting, I'm using Canson canva paper. This paper is 136 pounds. It's very sturdy and works really well for a heavy medium like oil pastels. These are the colors that I'm using for this painting. You don't need all of these red and orange shades. I have the Sennelier 120 color set, which is their biggest range for oil pastels. I always look at the reference image and pick out only the colors that I want from the set. I usually need only about 10 to 15 colors from the big set. The advantage of having a full range color set like the 120 set is that you get to pick from a wide range of color shades. They are ready made for you right out of the box. You don't have to mix and match colors. So that's gonna save you a lot of time and it's very convenient. You probably noticed that I started by applying an acrylic base painting. You can always start off with oil pastels. I personally like to apply a base color with acrylics, especially if I am working with my Sennelier oil pastels. There are two reasons for this. This may sound like a broken record, but Sennelier oil pastels are very creamy, so it's very difficult to layer with them. I have found that it's hard to do more than two layers using Sennelier unless you wait overnight between layers. Usually after the second layer it tends to get a bit muddy. So I usually do the base painting either with acrylics or a harder oil pastel brand. The second reason is that I want to save my Sennelier pastels. They are very pricey, and if I try to cover the whole paper with Sennelier, I might end up using almost half a stick for this painting itself. So it's okay for you to do your base painting with either acrylics or a cheaper and a harder oil pastel brand. I struggled a little bit with this pot. You can see a blade there. That's because I had to scrape off some oil pastels from the sides of the pot. You don't need a blade to do that. Actually, it's not recommended to use a sharp object like a blade because you might damage your support. There are probably other artistic tools for this purpose. I just used the blade because it was just there. The pot looked a bit skewed at some point, and I had to adjust its dimensions by removing some pigment off the right side of the pot and readjusting. The good thing about oil pastels is that just like oil paints, correction is very easy. It's a very forgiving medium unlike acrylics. The reference image has a rusty shiny metal pot here. It looks a bit like a gardening pot. I thought it was out of place for this setting because this looks like a kitchen stall. So that's why I wanted to do a Chinese porcelain pot instead. By the way, these are supposed to be cherries. I felt like they look like tomatoes, but they're cherries. I got feedback from someone offline that my videos are too fast and it's hard to follow along with them. Apparently, I was speeding through them too much. So, from now on, I'll be doing slower videos. This painting took me about 5 hours to finish, and I think for a painting like this, it's reasonable to give at least a 10-minute time lapse. Anything faster than that might be too fast for someone who actually wants to watch the video and recreate what I'm doing here. But if this is too slow for some of you, you can always skip ahead. So I'm adding the leaves here. I was gonna finish the painting after I added the leaves and the stems, but after I was done with that, I realized that I wasn't happy with the pot. Again, it's about the pot. I struggled with this pot from the beginning of this painting. When the painting was done, I thought that it was odd for this pot to be empty. In my case, it looked fine in the reference image. In my case, the composition looked unbalanced. So I thought I'll take a chance and fill it with cherries. At this point of a painting, it's very risky to do something that's not there in your reference image. If you get it wrong, a correction will be costly because you're almost done at this point. Anyway, I took a chance and added the cherries. After adding the cherries, I felt like it needed a leaf as well. Again, it's about composition. It's just a general feeling that you get when you look at your final piece. You can see that some of the elements are not balanced in the overall painting. So you would want to do little adjustments. Alright, so this is the final painting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, because